Hey there everyone, this is Zach here. If you've watched Mario Kart Wii tasks, you'll see that a lot of them use side tricks everywhere. And this isn't done just for show. They have special properties that allow you to change your speed in the air as well as your height. In today's video, I'll be explaining how this works. So here's a quick summary of how they work. If you hold in the direction of the back tire when first in the air, you can either increase your speed or at least minimize speed loss more easily. In addition, you can cause yourself to get more height than if you held neither left or right in the air. However, if you hold in the direction of the front tire early on in the air, your speed will quickly decrease. In addition, you'll land sooner onto the ground than if you held neither left nor right in the air. Now that I've given a brief summary of how to use side tricks in the air, I want to go into heavy detail of how this strategy works. This is because in tasks, we do mixtures of holding left or right in the air to optimize our tricks, and understanding the full window of when this is possible and exactly how to do it is very important. When you first get into the air, you can turn left or right in it for up to 20 frames. From the 21st frame onward, you won't be able to turn left or right anymore. In this example, the ghost turned in the air to the left on the 20th frame. It did so by holding left and pressing the jump button to cancel the wheelie mid-air. Doing this lets me turn in the air more. Thus, when I compare this run to other ones that start turning mid-air after the 20th frame, you can better easily see the difference between them. Meanwhile, the run that isn't the ghost turned in the air on the 21st frame. As you can see, the ghost that turned on the 20th frame is quite a bit more to the left. But in this example, even though it looks like you can only see one run, there are actually two here. There is a ghost that first held left on the 21st frame, and the other run first held it on the 22nd frame. As you can see, both of them are in the exact same spot after they land on the ground. So as you can see, you can't turn in the air after the 20th frame. But in that 20 frame window before, you can do some interesting things. In this example, I'm going to do a side trick, but I won't be turning left or right in the air. As you can see, after a few frames, I begin to slowly lose speed until I touch the ground. In addition, I only lose around 0.09 to 0.1 kilometers per hour each frame, with the speed decrease going up to 3 as the boost from the trick ramp itself wears off. So as you can see, there was a steady decrease in speed once I got into the air. However, with side tricks, you can manipulate the speed you'll be going at. In this example, I will be doing a right trick while holding left in the air. In addition, I'll be delaying the trick to the last frame. At first, nothing is different from before. I'm losing 0.09 or 0.1 kilometers per hour per frame like normal. Once I activate the trick though, if you look, my speed ends up increasing over the next few frames until I reach back up to 100 kilometers per hour, which is where I was before I went into the air. This is because I moved to the left in the direction of Funky's back tire. I stay at 100 for 5 frames, and then I lose speed a bit more rapidly than when I didn't turn, losing 0.14 to 0.15 per frame. When I'm almost at the point when the boost from the panel wears off, this speed loss has deaccelerated back down to 0.09 to 0.1 per frame. In addition, the frame before this boost goes, I'm only down to 95.39 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, when I didn't turn in the air, I was down to 94.74 kilometers per hour. Thus, speed-wise, I actually went faster overall. Now let's do the same thing, but this time I turned right in the air. Everything seems like the same as before, but because I was turning in the direction of the front tire, I began to lose speed a lot more rapidly, almost up to 1 kilometer per hour per frame at some points. Eventually though, this rapid speed loss does stop. On this frame, I'm at 95.77 kilometers per hour, but on the next one, I'm down to 94.82. On the preceding frame though, I only lose 0.12 kilometers per hour versus 0.95 from the previous frame. From there, I start by losing 0.13 to 0.14 kilometers per hour per frame, similar to when I turned left. And right before I land back on the ground, I end up losing roughly 0.1 kilometers per hour per frame. However, just before I land back onto the ground, I'm only just above 90, meaning I overall went slower than in the previous two examples. Also, if you're curious, Once the vehicle flips the other way, you can't just move your joystick that same way to continue using side tricks for your advantage. It's been over 20 frames by this point, meaning you can't turn in the air anymore. Thus, this strategy doesn't work at this point. In addition, you can combine these two things with side tricks. When I turn in the direction of the front tire here, for example, I do start with that rapid speed loss as shown by the speedometer, but when I turn the other way towards the back tire, I start gaining speed back up to 100 kilometers per hour. Something interesting to note. When I do start losing speed again, I only drop around 0.1 per frame the whole way down instead of the speed decrease starting around 0.15, with that speed loss dropping to 0.1 eventually. Another property with side tricks is that you can use them to increase or decrease your airtime. In this example, the ghost turns in the direction of the back tire. Meanwhile, the other run turns in the direction of the front tire. As you can see, this run landed first, i.e. the one that turned the same way as the front tire initially. However, the decrease in speed that occurred means it fell behind the ghost, which didn't suffer this speed loss. To further prove these height changes, I'll compare a run that doesn't turn in the air to the other two that do so. With this example, the ghost turns in the direction of the back tire, and it ends up landing later than the ghost that didn't turn. Meanwhile, this ghost here turns in the direction of the front tire, and it ends up landing sooner. These combined factors of manipulating your speed as well as your airtime are why TASes will use so many side tricks. What I've noticed when TASing is that I'll often combine these two factors when optimizing tricks on a track. For example, with the second carpet trick on Bowser's Castle on lap 1, I'm doing a right trick. This means my front tire will be facing left. If you look at the input viewer, I start by holding left as well. This means I'll be losing quite a bit of speed at first, which you can see by the speedometer. However, I begin holding right, which ends up increasing my speed again, which means I am moving faster, and that is ideal here. After all, it is a racing game, and generally, moving faster speed-wise is more optimal. In addition, I am also increasing my height again. By doing this left-to-right turning, I am able to land back on the ground just as the trick boost is wearing off. I land at this time because I'm going over 100 kilometers per hour for longer, versus going slower from not being in a boost. You can see this as well with my GCN Mario Circuit test. If you look at the input viewer, you can see me turning in the direction of the front tire at first here. This reduces my speed and height. However, I begin holding left eventually to increase my speed, so I'm going faster. Just like with the carpet trick, I'm able to land on the ground just as the trick boost from before wears off. Thus, I am vitalizing the speed increase for it as long as possible while still abusing the speed increase from a side trick. Meanwhile, with this first bridge trick, I hold left here to decrease my speed. I then get a bad landing on the bridge, so I get back into the air right away. Since I slowed myself down so much, I'm able to land again on this lower part of the bridge. This means the second trick I'm about to get will be lower than if I didn't try to lose speed and was forced to land on the top. And in this case, getting a lower second bridge trick is faster. When I get back into the air, I proceed to hold right in the direction of the back tire, increasing my speed and height. Once again, doing this allows me to land just as the trick boost is wearing off. And there you go! As you can see, side tricks can be very useful. Each trick in this game has its own special properties, such as down tricks allowing you to turn tightly when you land on the ground, or up and down tricks allowing for faster and easier wall bounces. If you enjoyed what you watched here today, please like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more content like this. Thank you so much for watching everyone, and have a great day!